What does your city do for you? As a citizen, do you have easy access to clean water and air? Are there convenient ways to commute? Can you count on help in cases of emergency? With rapid urbanization, cities increasingly rely on smart and sustainable solutions to improve the quality of life for the citizens. And for the most advanced cities, the power of smart tech has transformed the ability to do so. The solutions available are endless, but for many cities, they may be too expensive, complicated, or otherwise inaccessible. So where does your city even begin? How great would it be if there were a guide to help you choose, customize, and even finance the ones right for your city? We're with you. And that's why we've developed the WeGo Smart City Driver. Get started with the Activator, our online interactive platform where cities can share their challenges and diagnose their needs. In Activator, you can unlock key insights on the successes and failures of smart city projects around the world to find the best ways to approach your city's own projects. Once you've identified your needs, you can access customized solution packages through the Solution Finder. WeGo works closely with a range of solution providers and partners, which is selectively matchmakes with your city to deploy its projects. Our project implementer further supports cities with funding to jointly carry out feasibility studies and pilot projects that lead to citywide implementation. Smart and sustainable solutions are not out of reach. Sign up today for an Activator account and get started on your city's transformation with WeGo.
Dear members, partners, and friends, good afternoon from Seoul and welcome to the second edition of the Solution Meets Cities webinar series, co-hosted by WeGo and WF-UNA and dedicated to matchmaking for smart and sustainable innovation. The webinar today will be held in English and interpretation in Korean is available. Please make sure that you have updated Zoom to the latest version. You can click on the globe function on the bottom right part on your screen, and you can select the interpretation channel. You can also mute the original English audio and listen only to the language of interpretation. You can use the rename function to change your name to full name and your affiliation in brackets. We encourage you to participate actively in the webinar and submit your questions to the speakers via the Q&A function. You can also use the chat box for additional comments and greetings. Today's webinar will be recorded with its original audio, and you will be able to access the recording and the presentation materials after the event on the WeGo website. We are now streaming live on YouTube as well, and my colleagues will share the link in the chat box if you want to share it with other stakeholders in your network. Thank you. Now, allow me to invite Ms. Eunbyeol Cho, Head of the Program Department at the WeGo Secretariat, to deliver the opening remarks on the occasion of today's webinar. Ms. Cho, welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone, WeGo members and partners. It is my pleasure to welcome you again to the second edition of the Solution Meets Cities webinar series. This time, it is co-hosted by the World Smart Sustainable Cities Organization and our dear partner, World Federation of United Nations Associations. As the head of the program department at the Secretariat, I'm delighted to open today's event, and in connection with the theme of the webinar, let me share with you how we envision the future of smart cities on the basis of sustainable urban innovation. WeGo has come a long way since its establishment in 2010 and has become an international association dedicated to smart city development with over 210 members around the world. With the upcoming 5th WeGo General Assembly on October 18, mark the calendars, we are reaching an important milestone to commemorate the organization's achievements in the past 10 years. WeGo's mission is to support its members on their path to achieving their smart city goals through knowledge sharing, capacity and knowledge building, and implementation of smart city projects. In response to this, in 2020, WeGo integrated its project implementation programs under the Smart City Driver platform to help cities plan, finance, and deploy smart city projects. In the first edition of the Solutions Mid-Assist webinar series last June, we showcased the possibilities of the Smart City Driver with a comprehensive guideline on how WIGO members can utilize its opportunities. Since then, we have been working closely, relentlessly to improve the platform so as to provide more benefits to the WIGO member community. We have been collecting cities' best case practices and urban challenges, building a database of solutions, organizing on-demand matchmaking meetings, and engaging with partners, and continuing to create opportunities for cities and corporations to collaborate, such as today's second edition of the webinar series. After the great success of the first webinar, WIGO and WFUNA decided to co-host today's event in order to expand the pool of partners and create synergies between our activities. WIGO is a co-organizer of the Citypreneurs platform activities spearheaded by WFUNA, and together we support the implementation of the Impact Collective program, which cultivates sustainable solutions for urban innovation under the agenda of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In the webinar today, we have gathered member cities, corporate members, and partners from the WIGO and WFUNA networks to showcase selected cities' ongoing projects and proposals and present relevant solutions to achieve smart and sustainable urban innovation. We sincerely hope that more partnership will be formed on the basis of today's event, and we encourage you to actively utilize our platforms, such as the Smart City Driver, to achieve your smart and sustainable city goals. Once again, I would like to warmly welcome all of you to the second edition of the webinar series where solutions meet cities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cho, and welcome once again to the webinar. My name is Todor, and I'm City and Corporate Partnerships Officer at the WIGO Secretariat, and I'll be the host of today's event, together with our co-hosts from WFUNA. In this webinar series, we are trying to find out how cities can solve their urban challenges using sustainable smart city solutions. We are connecting cities with solution providers and partners in order to find the right solutions, and we are actively facilitating this matchmaking process. As a continuing tradition, we provide an open floor to member cities and corporations to create such collaboration opportunities. We are also showcasing the development of our own platforms and services related to project implementation to help our members achieve their smart city goals. After an introduction by the co-hosting organizations, we will open session 1, where selected WIGO member cities will showcase their ongoing projects and collaboration achievements with partners from the WIGO network. In session 2, WIGO corporate members will share their smart city solutions and explain how they can help cities on their path to smart and sustainable urban innovation. In the discussion part, you can also ask your questions directly to our speakers, and we will discuss the opportunities and challenges in conducting international smart city projects. A post-event survey will be shared with all participants who have registered for today's webinar, and selected winners will be randomly chosen from the respondents of the survey and will receive prizes in the form of online gift cards. Do not miss your chance and participate in the post-event survey. Now I will share with you a brief presentation about WIGO's project implementation activities. WIGO, as a membership-based international association for local governments, smart tech solution providers, and national and regional institutions, is committed to the transformation of cities into smart, sustainable cities. We currently have 213 members. Our president city is Seoul, and we have 7 additional vice president cities and 5 regional offices around the world. This year, WIGO and the president city of Seoul are hosting the Triennial General Assembly. This is our highest level governance meeting, and it will be held on October the 18th. According to our definition, Digital technology plays an integral part in improving the quality of life of citizens and ensuring long-term economic, social, and environmental sustainability. This falls under the UN agenda of SDG number 11. Okay. Just a second to resume our presentation. Okay. Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay. To achieve its vision of smart, sustainable cities for all, WIGO serves as a global platform to foster international exchange, cooperation, and networking among members and partners. Our members are dispersed in various regions, and WIGO operates in various networks and regional network activities across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. One of WIGO's main activities is project implementation through our flagship platform, the WIGO Smart City Driver. It all started with the annual WIGO feasibility study program, which has had 14 beneficiaries so far, with a total funding of 1.3 million USD. The feasibility study program has been conducted in various smart city fields, ranging from e-government to civic participation system, smart traffic, and more. In 2020, WIGO integrated its project implementation activities under the Smart City Driver, WIGO's framework for cities to plan, finance, and deploy smart city projects. The framework has three components: the WIGO Activator, the Solution Finder, and the Project Implementer. The WIGO Activator is the online platform which enables the application process for the Solution Finder and the Project Implementer. To get started, all you need to do is visit the homepage and create an account. The WIGO Secretariat will grant you access after verifying your credentials as a WIGO member. Once you log in, you can browse through hundreds of projects and best practice cases from around the world. You can also select either of the two tracks. You can select the Solution Finder if you want to better understand your city's challenges and design your ideal smart city solutions. And you can select the Project Implementer if you already have a good understanding of your city's challenges and you want to connect with implementation partners. The Solution Finder is a comprehensive survey based on data which you provide about your city's challenges and smart city projects. The data is used to propose packages of solutions for citywide implementation. Packages consist of custom solutions by smart city consultants, tech companies, development aid agencies, and other partners. To use the Solution Finder, you should answer the questionnaire. After receiving feedback from WIGO, we will produce a short summary, which is then confirmed by your city. And then we have the Project Implementer, which includes the annual feasibility study program, which is WIGO's program to help cities implement projects in cooperation with selected partners. For each beneficiary in the program, WIGO sponsors approximately 92,000 USD towards services from a consultant and solution provider with the required expertise. Here, you can be selected for the feasibility study program, or WIGO can connect you with other partners for solutions and funding. You can connect with a wide network of partners as WIGO is working across the whole ecosystem of smart city development. This also includes all of our corporate and institutional members, some of which you will be able to meet today in the webinar. WIGO also works closely with its MOU partners, including leading smart city agencies, networks, and institutes from Korea and abroad. WIGO is working constantly to improve the Smart City Driver platform. The feedback we received after the first edition of this webinar series showed that a convenient link to best practice cases, clear guidelines for ease of use, and provision of training on the platform's functions are the most requested functionalities. The best practice cases are easily accessible through the Activator platform upon login, And the WIGO Secretariat is providing free of charge one-to-one consultations and training sessions to its members to guide them through the platform's functions. As a successful result from this process, today we have invited the city of Gaziantep in Turkey to present on its smart city projects in session 1. Since the first edition of the webinar series in June, in a very short period of time, we also have collected close to 100 urban challenges and best practice cases and solutions from our network of members and partners. This has been achieved through in-house research and direct collection of data from WIGO members. And more importantly, WIGO is supporting its members in applying for project funding through a variety of international programs, such as our own feasibility study program, the K-City Network, COICA and ASEAN-led programs, and more. With an ever-growing database and network of partners, now it is a great time for you to become involved. Do not forget that the Smart City Driver platform is exclusive to WIGO members. You can contact the Secretariat for more details on how to become a member and use our platforms. If you are a city, we encourage you to use the Smart City Driver platform and submit your urban challenges and best practice cases. If you are a corporation or institution, share your solutions with us and we will include you in our solutions database. The Solutions Meet Cities webinar series is also an extension of the Smart City Driver, as we are continuing to expand our matchmaking events for members and facilitating partnerships for smart and sustainable city cooperation. Thank you for your attention. And now it is my pleasure to invite our co-hosting partner today, WFUNA, with its representative, Ms. Charlotte Aribe, to tell us a little bit more about sustainable urban innovation and the synergies we can create for smart and sustainable city development. Charlotte, if you can hear us, you can turn on your camera and microphone.
Hello, hi Todor, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, welcome once again, and you can have the floor for the presentation.
Great, thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Happy to be part of this webinar today. I am coming in on behalf of the World Federation of United Nations Associations, and my name is Charlotte. I am the Sustainable Innovation Officer there. Next slide, please. So, founded in 1946 along with the UN, WFUNA is a global nonprofit organization that represents and coordinates a membership of over 100 national United Nations associations, or UNAs, and their thousands of constituents. We work to strengthen and improve the United Nations through the engagement of people who share a global mindset and support international cooperation, which are global citizens. We have a couple of offices around the world and coordinate a lot of different work on the Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide, please. In particular, WFUNA has selected entrepreneurship and investment as a means of implementation in achieving the UN's 3 main agendas in order to help grow sustainable driven startup ecosystems for people and planet. Next slide, please. So this is where Cityprinters come in. Cityprinters is a program that is co-organized by UNDP, UN ESCAP, WIGO, and WFUNA in collaboration with the city governments. Next. So cities constitute one of the 4 major sectors of activity essential to the achievement of the SDGs. And these 4 sectors represent 60% of the real economy. Every week, 1.5 million people become city dwellers, and the UN predicts that more than 2/3 of the world's population will live in cities by 2050. Worsening demographic problems are accompanied by environmental, economic, and social problems, as well as increasing difficult living standard expectations. However, this situation also indicates that market opportunities that align not only with the priorities of public sector, but also with private sector, will increasingly aim to contribute to solving major global challenges. The SDGs actually have the potential to generate business opportunities in the order of 12 trillion USD per year. And as you can see on the slide, over half of the world's population currently lives on 2% of global land, yet they generate 70% of greenhouse gases and over 80% of global GDP. So this is a great opportunity to tap into. Next. So this is where Citypreneurs comes in and was created. Our international startup platform is supported by the UN and aims to build the capacities of young entrepreneurs to help solve urban challenges within the framework of the SDGs. Our approach consists of 4 parts. The first is the development of local innovation ecosystems to connect stakeholders from all sectors. The second is policy discussions to better facilitate innovation, impact-driven co-creation, and the development of sustainable and inclusive policies to face the 4th industrial revolution. The third is training on the alignment of business models with the SDGs, which serves as an assessment guide for investors and public sector procurement selection. And finally, we share innovations nationally and internationally through pitching opportunities in order to increase awareness among investors, customers, and general public at large. Next. So the way that we do this is impact profit alignment is at the core of our program. And the way we measure this is by looking not only at impact through ecosystem participation, policy action, and capacity building, but also at profit, so crowd and investment pools, city pilots, and intercity scaling in our programs. Next. So here's a snapshot of our network of global extension partners, and WeGo plays an essential role in mobilizing city governments around the world to help explore different contexts and share knowledge. As you can see, we do have a wide array of network across different sectors. Next. And here's a quick snapshot also of one of the city projects that we've been working on. We've been doing this since 2017. And in particular, we started off with Seoul, where we've had a pilot project outcome from Citypreneurs since 2017. We've helped to form 90 teams and have mobilized 46 million USD in crowdfunding investments. And together, we've been co-hosting this with the Seoul Metropolitan Government, WeGo, UNDP, UNESCAP, as well as a number of tech sponsors and ecosystem actors. Next. And I'm going to leave you on this note. So we're currently running programs across Asia, Pacific, and Africa. Last year, we had the great chance to expand our program and simultaneously have it happen in 4 countries. The cities that we are hosting it in include Seoul, Singapore, Ho Chi Minh City, and Bangkok. And we have in total helped over 85 teams, I believe, in that program last year. And we currently have a cohort of 45 teams that are working on a number of solutions to problems that are aligned with the ASEAN Smart City Action Plans and the SDGs. And we currently have a program running in Africa as well, in which WeGo is also helping out for the Democratic Republic of Congo in Kinshasa around waste management. And WeGo has been jointly helping Citypreneurs to expand through cities and trying to leverage all the synergies through our respective organizational work. And we're very excited to be part of this webinar and take part in the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlotte, once again for joining in for this great overview of WFUNA's activities, and especially the Citypreneurs platform and Impact Collective, as WeGo and WFUNA both have essential roles. And these ones, we have a lot of overlapping points in our agendas, and I'm sure that in the future we will continue to collaborate on more programs in the agenda of sustainable solutions for urban innovation. So thank you once again. And now I would like to open session 1 of today's webinar. Here you can see a snapshot of the survey results after our first edition of this webinar series. And as you can see, Southeast Asia and the Middle East were among the most requested regions to be featured in future editions. And this is why today we have invited representatives from cities within those 2 regions. In addition, after gauging the interest in various smart city areas, we could see that e-government, citizen participation, public transportation, and traffic management were among the top areas. WeGo is hosting various events and activities dedicated to all of those categories, and we will continue to reflect your interest in our activities in the future. Your feedback is always very valuable to us, and don't forget to participate in the post-event survey after today's event as well. and have the chance to win a prize in the form of online gift cards. In session 1 today, we will be joined by Baguio City in the Philippines and SR Post from South Korea for a special matchmaking interview, and we'll then invite Gaziantep City from Turkey to present on their smart city projects. So first, allow me to invite architect Donna Tabangin from the City Planning and Development Office at the City Government of Baguio, and Ms. Angelina Kodotova from SR Post in South Korea. Ladies, if you can turn on your cameras and microphones. Okay, I see Ms. Donna. Hello, Ms. Donna, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon to everyone from Baguio City, Philippines. Thank you for this invitation.
Welcome once again. And dear Angelina, welcome once again as a returning participant in our webinar series.
Yes, hello, Tara. Thank you very much once again for inviting us today as well. It's truly a great pleasure to be here today with all the distinguished guests and participants.
Okay, welcome once again. And without further ado, I would like to start with some questions for both of you. First, I would like to know from Angelina, because we know that SR Post has been quite busy with forming partnerships with some cities from the WeGo network, especially after our previous webinar. So could you share a little bit of what has been going on and what are those initiatives?
Yes, thank you very much for your question. WeGo indeed has helped us a lot in connecting with the different cities of your network. So in June, for example, we were trying to connect with the city of Almaty for another project in Kazakhstan. We already have rather extensive experience with some other Kazakh municipalities, but Almaty city was rather new for us. But luckily, the city is also a member of WeGo. So we were connected through the organization to discuss the details of the project. We also considered some possible areas of developments. So far, as a result, we have signed common memorandum of understanding. And currently, we are preparing for more detailed discussion on cooperation within one funding program. It will be approximately in the middle of October. Also, as for our ongoing project, we were preparing it with our Spanish partner for the Eureka program. And within a rather limited time, we needed to find a test bed for our project outside of both Korea and European Union. But thanks to WeGo, we connected to different municipalities, regions, based on our experience and on our preferences as well. We were having especially active communication with Sao Paulo from Brazil, with whom we are in discussion now of cooperation alternatives. And of course, Baguio City, which ultimately was stated as our zone for the pilot project.
Yes, thank you so much for this quick update. And of course, we were trying our best also to assist you in connecting with cities for your project, and especially the recent collaboration that happened between you and Baguio City. Could you tell us a little bit more about this current project? What topic does it cover? And maybe what made you consider Baguio City as a good candidate for a joint application for this project?
Yes, so this summer we were preparing for Eureka Spain-Korea bilateral call. Our proposal was about the development of an innovative city safety platform, and we needed to decide on a pilot area, which is a necessary part of applying and verifying the development results of our project. And WeGo has very actively assisted us throughout each step of this process, and once again, many thanks for distant WeGo officers for this. We collaborated with Baguio City due to several reasons, such as first, our experience with Philippines and in the region in general, which also will be helpful for us further after the termination of the project. Second, as we believe the project also aligned with the city's interests and regulations, we made sure of this. Third, we also checked that the infrastructure of the city will be suitable for our project, which also was very important for us. And fourth, the city also could provide all the necessary information and documents within limited time. So Baguio's readiness to cooperate also impressed us a lot. So I believe these are main points was for us to consider.
Okay, thank you so much for explaining this. And now to jump to Ms. Donna from Baguio City, I would like to ask you first maybe how this project fits into the overall smart city framework of Baguio City, and maybe what kind of factors you had to consider when you had to consider this proposal for collaboration.
Yes, thank you, Todor, for that question. The city is actually on its way to a smart city transformation. And a lot of the changes that are happening now, especially on infrastructure as well as on governance, is towards a smart cityhood. And just recently, we have inaugurated our command center for that Smart Cities project. So basically, we have a platform, but we lack the modules that would make that platform alive. And we are very glad that we were partnered with Angelina because, of course, these are the things that we are looking for, the city is looking for. As of this moment, we have interested partners who want to put in a smart mobility platform, and Angelina's would take on a different aspect of smart cities also, and that's towards safety. So we are very glad that all these things are coming together, and it is through these kinds of partnerships that these relationships happen. So Angelina mentioned that the city is going to be a test bed, and that's what we are right now. We are ready to become a test bed, an incubator of how the different modules or different technologies that could complete our smart city platform may happen.
Thank you so much. I remember that last year Baguio City was also quite interested into the Impact Collective program and participation there. And I can see that sustainability is a very important part of the development program in Baguio City. So we hope that this will also lead to a good collaboration ahead. And a follow-up question to both of you, maybe Angelina, you can answer first. What was the respective role of each entity when they entered into this collaboration? So from SR Post, what were the responsibilities and commitments for this joint application?
Yes, thank you. So in general, you may consider our role as creating a necessary basis for the project, because we were preparing all the necessary documents, for example, project proposal to submit to both our national authority and to submit to Eureka together with our Spanish partner. And of course, it's included communication with both of these organizations to make sure that we are not missing anything and that we are moving in the right direction. But specifically with the Baguio City, we needed to secure from us the timely provision of all the important information regarding the pilot project, its provision, timeline, etc., and also share the template of the letter of intent that we need for the application.
Okay, thank you. And maybe a follow-up comment on this. I know that because the topic of the project is related to city safety, so this can be quite a sensitive topic in a lot of regions, and it also depends on the regulatory framework. So maybe you can tell us what things you had to consider in this regard, and maybe were there any limitations of this when you had to consider maybe city partnerships and how to approach this application?
Yes, thank you very much for this question as well. You're right, because since it's a city safety, even though it was considered for the municipalities and relevant government organizations, however, for example, following even the GDPR in the European Union and further regulations on the AI use, we also were pretty accurate, trying to be very careful with using this kind of algorithms as well as in our platform. So therefore, while selecting and considering different cities, of course, it's also something that we needed to pay attention to. But at the same time, for example, as also we were discussing it before, we were thinking that, yes, depending, of course, on the city preferences, if, for example, due to the local regulations, we will not be able to implement this or that functions, we also considered, as a kind of mitigation plan of what functions instead can be provided, so the platform will not use its usability and effectiveness.
Okay, thank you so much. And jumping back to Ms. Donna on this question, maybe you can also share with us what were the responsibilities and the commitments from Baguio City for this joint application? And were there any concerns on behalf of the city in terms of maybe personal data usage or any other concerns that you had regarding this project?
Yes, Todor, thank you. As to, may I first answer the second question, because that's something really that is foremost in our deliberations already as we move towards smart cityhood, and that is data privacy. And I think that this is the reason why we are part of this partnership, because we want to learn. We are very new in this field, and of course the best practices of partner cities who are into this already would prove to be very helpful for us. And as Angelina has mentioned, it is really something that we might just discover as we move along, because of course there are different contexts to how we apply or how people understand security, especially for data. And that is what Baguio City is willing to learn. And that's going to the first question. What were our responsibilities? In fact, we would like to thank WeGo and SR Post for choosing us, because we are the beneficiary of this good intention. And all we have to do is for us to study what could be the benefits and what could be the implications of this proposal to our city. And it has passed through different offices in our local government, and we got the go signal each time. That means that we are really interested and we are ready to become a test.
Thank you. We are very happy to hear that, and that Baguio City is has been very acceptive of this proposal. And Angelina, maybe you can walk us through what are the next steps in this collaboration, and maybe what is the timeline for this project ahead?
Yes, thank you. So as a brief recap, we had our deadline for Korea in late August, and our Spanish partner had a deadline just earlier this year due to the slight difference in timeline. So far, we are waiting for our first feedback in October, maybe November, and for the final results, we hope to receive it in December or maybe early January. If we will be selected, then the project is expected to start in January or maybe approximately February. In total, the project is planned for 3 years. And the pilot part of it will be taking place after 2 or 2.5 years of development. So it is briefly about the timeline of our project.
Okay, thank you so much. And finally, back to Ms. Donna. We would like to know maybe what are the expectations of Baguio City of this project? Of course, if it's selected with the funding and everything goes well in the next 3 years, what kind of expectations do you have in terms of this collaboration and this project?
Yes, thank you, Todor. As to expectations, of course, we would want that we have something of this kind of module on safety for our smart city platform up and running by 2024. So it's something that we are looking forward to. In fact, we are positioning different modules for our smart city platform in such a way that maybe in 5 years' time, that's our timeline for the city, that we could complete as much as possible, all possible modules that could be used in the governance activities of the city. So like what I mentioned earlier, we already have partners, a partner for smart mobility and SR Post for safety. We also have an incoming partner for disaster risk reduction, and that's on flood early warning systems. So we are looking forward to having a complete set of modules so that we could at least see ourselves indeed going towards that path of smart cityhood and to providing the services that the citizens of the city would need in real time. And that's the expectation, really.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think it's a step in the right direction, and especially with a company like Etserpost, which are very much proved as a very stable partner in smart city projects, and with the acceptance of Baguio City to learn about this process and to implement this project, I think it's a very good start. So we wish you great success with the application of the project, and we'll definitely keep our network updated with the progress. So thank you once again for joining. And I hope you can stay until the end of the webinar, because I'm sure that some of our attendees will have some questions about this collaboration, as it has a lot of valuable insights for our network. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Angelina, Ms. Donna, yes, thank you so much. And now we will continue with our next presentation. We will be joined by Mr. Eren Dogan, Smart City Program Chief at Gaziantep Metropolitan Municipality in Turkey. Mr. Dogan contacted WeGo after the first edition of this webinar series, and after a one-on-one consultation with our Smart City driver team, we invited the city to share their Smart City projects today. The city of Gaziantep has been very active in developing a comprehensive smart city framework with a variety of projects in different areas. And I'm looking forward to Mr. Dogan's presentation today, which will be focused on 3D Gaziantep simulator. So Mr. Dogan, if you can hear us, I want to welcome you once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mertyanov. I hope you clearly hear me.
Everything is perfect, so I give you the floor to continue with the presentation.
Thank you very much. It is a great pleasure to be here with you and with our colleagues. So before I start my presentation, I shortly want to talk about the location of my city. As you can see on the map, it's the red marked area. The region below of my city is the Syria. We are only 1 hour drive away from Syria, and right side of the Syria is also Iraq. We are only a few hours drive away from Iraq. And whatever happens in this region directly affects us. So this is also related to my topic today. Can you please move to next slide? So what we are planning to is install new data center. This is more than a project right now because it's happening, it's under construction. So it's going to become true in the next 6 to 8 months. So why we need is this, because in last decade, we have almost 500,000 immigrants flow through our city, because still wars are happening right now. In situation is not settled yet. So this was a huge population increase in our city, because before war started, our population was around 1.5 million. Now our population is higher than 2 million, and this huge increase has affected everything in the city, from transportation fees to house prices, from shop rents to unemployment rates. So we have more population to serve municipal services. So this is how the new data center idea has come through. Next slide, please. We also prefer to name it data coordination centers, because in this data center, we will focus on to coordinate data and make them talk to each other. This is how we want to make better analysis. Next slide, please. So this is one of our data center we are already currently running. It's on the right picture you may see is the transportation surveillance and control center. We have online bus, tram, and bicycle systems. So operators in here online watching this flow of the transportation, and also control them, manipulate them. So this is one of the centers we want to use in our new data center. On the right, left picture, you may see some Asian experts investigating our servers. Who are they? What are they doing? I'm going to explain in the next slides. Next slide, please. So this is also another server data center we want to include our new data center place. It's electronic traffic inspection system. It has capabilities of plate recognition, high speeding, illegal parking, online surveillance, and also crowd detection. Next slide, please. This is also another main data resources of our system. We call it GCOM in Turkish. It may be translated into Gaziantep Communication Coordination Center. This is very important place for us because this is where almost all feedbacks coming from citizens to us. All social media, phone calls, also written applications, even our mayor implementing public this with the citizens. All these feedbacks from citizens come to here, so this is very important to us. Next slide, please. And another our data resource is our geographical information system. It contains almost all the information of the city about infrastructure, also upper structure, as you see on the screen, energy flow, transportation places, etc. So that is also another important data source for us. Next slide, please. So overall, I may summarize like this. We will use servers of traffic coordination, traffic inspection, and communication coordination, and geographical information servers, and create our big data systems. There will be more servers actually. Also, we will include some security places. We have national parks. We have our also public buildings. We will have more, but these are going to be the main data sources. Next slide, please. So I can summarize in 4 steps easily what we are trying to do. We are already collecting our data. We are already analyzing our data, but in this new project, it will be analyzed through AI, through machine learning, through deep learning. So in here, also in this analyze, we want where the magic comes. We want data talk to each other. We want where the data complete each other and make better predictions for future. Also report this to our administration. Next slide, please. And we will have more services. We will have more capabilities. We can create more heat maps, more surveillance, more reports, more visualized data, more interactive maps and warning systems, and we can track process better. So next slide, please. So whom are we working with? We are working with international experts actually. One of them is Samsung SES, which is a branch company of Samsung International. They are working on the implementation of our new data center. And another partner is McKinsey & Company. I'm sure you're all know them. They are also in very experienced international company. They are working with, they are helping us to create roadmaps, road agendas about our smart city programs. Next slide, please. So how we are financing this big project? Actually, we are very open to grants, funds, help in this project. This is where we can also collaborate. For example, we were granted by United States Trade and Development Agency by $750,000. Next slide, please. Also, Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport, South Korea, by $250,000. And moreover, I didn't add here, but we were also granted by our local development agencies in currency of Turkish liras. So this project still needs finances, still helps, also cooperations, and it's still a going on project. It has a long way to go, but we are also doing our best to get our finances by international community grantors. So next slide, please. So what we are trying to do is create digital image of our city, digital twinning. So we can analyze, we can predict better about our city. So maybe next step is it's in appropriate way creating digital image of our citizens, but respecting their, of course, rights, digital rights. Next slide, please. So our vision, also 2030 vision, is similar to most developed capitals: reduce carbon emission, improve traffic flow speed, and more services, free Wi-Fi. That is what we are aiming for. Next slide, please. And in the end, we want to have more accurate data, more accurate predictions, and this is where we actually eager to implement scenarios. That is what our simulator is going to be about. We want to implement scenarios. It may be a disaster scenario, it may be another population relocation scenario, or it may be a traffic scenario. And we also want to share our data. We haven't actually accomplished this yet, but we want to share our data with our public and experts. And next slide, please. And 3D Gaziantep Simulator. This is our project. This is a new project. It is being programmed by our local team in here. We want to use all this analyzed data to get to implement our scenarios, to implement our perspective into our big data. This is actually exciting for us because in this case we want to use our perspective into program besides that which is Samsung is preparing for us. So this is going to be also very challenging and experiencing project for us. And that's all for me now. I think I made it in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Mr. Dogan. It's very interesting to hear about the initiatives in Gaziantep City, because especially we know that the regional characteristics and what's happening in the area around Gaziantep and Turkey is also influencing how you form your smart city policies and the priorities in the development. And we also thank you for your participation as a WIGO member, because last year Gaziantep also participated as one of the cities in the 4th WIGO Awards with the project of My Mind, My City. So really happy to see so much development in Gaziantep. And I hope that you can stay with us until the discussion time as well, because we are having some questions for you as well. So thank you once again for the presentation.
Thank you very much. I was really excited. So if I made some grammar mistakes, please accept my apologies. Thank you very much.
Don't worry at all. Thank you once again. Okay, you can turn off your camera and microphone. Thank you. And now we can move to session 2 of today's webinar. So after the participation of our city members and SR Post in the first session, now we will hear 2 presentations from WIGO corporate members. First, Data Alliance and Fatos Corporation will join forces together and deliver a joint presentation on digital twin solutions. And then Seeds will join us to share its vision for a future with clean rivers and oceans. Allow me to invite now Mr. Jonghyop Lee, Executive Vice President of Data Alliance in South Korea, and Mr. Dongho Kim, CEO of Fatos Corporation from South Korea. Both companies are active WIGO corporate members with dedicated smart city solutions. We are eager to know more about the collaboration between the 2 companies and the solutions for digital twins in smart city development. Mr. Lee, Mr. Kim, I hope that you can hear me. You can see us?
Yes.
Welcome once again.
Okay, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Kim, hello once again. 안녕하세요. 네, 반갑습니다. 네. Thank you. Mr. Lee, if you're ready, you can proceed with the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much for this invitation. I'm Jonghyop Lee. I have helped Indonesian government and as a World Bank consultant, and also I am now advising Thai agency on this issue. in consultation with Mr. Kim Dong-ho, the CEO of Pathos. So my presentation today is part of the two consultation projects for Thailand and Indonesia. Next, please. Data Alliance has developed a blockchain-based platform for sharing data, network, and services. With this platform, Data Alliance has demonstrated mobility as a service ecosystem in Bucheon, Korea since 2019. Bucheon is in between Seoul and Incheon, the international airport city. Next, please. Pathos has two core technologies. The first one is map technology with mesh-up structure. And the second technology is navigation technology, which is hybrid. Next, please. With these two core technologies, Pathos has a real-time location tracking platform. So on your left side of the slide, various sensor data are connected to this platform. And then the objects of location are demonstrated on Argos web and app on your slide right side. And with this platform, Pathos can deploy various services, including order management and transportation management and enterprise resource planning. And next, please. With these technologies and platform, Pathos has worked with public authorities such as a fire station and also Seoul City government. And also Pathos has worked with a few Korean large companies, also international companies providing the truck navigation services and on-demand shuttle bus services, which are also for the Korean large companies. Pathos is also very active in ASEAN market. Currently, Pathos is working with the Singaporean Land Authority to use one map, which is National Vector Map, to create the social worker-based service ecosystem. And similarly, Pathos is working with Nostra on Nostra Vector Map to deploy truck navigation services. Next, please. And with digital twin and Geo AI technologies, the public sectors, including the cities and local governments, can coordinate healthcare response during this pandemic. And also when you have a disaster, the technologies can be utilized for the community resilience. And lastly, these solutions can be utilized for planning for economic development of the region. Next, please. The fundamental modern land administration system is based on two-dimensional land cadastre, which is map. And as the space above and below of the Earth's surfaces are utilized, then these are incorporated into three-dimensional maps. And currently, with the help of big data and AI and other analytics, four-dimensional maps, with these maps, we can have information about not only current status, but past and future state of the region can be informed to us. Next, please. With this location aware information and data, quite a good number of private businesses are incubated, including asset management, customer relationship management, and also process optimization and others. So if we have data ecosystem with these big data sets, then we can have a service ecosystem, not only for public safety and security, but also we can have a entrepreneurship in the region. Next, please. Conceptually, there are three tracking and technological architecture. The objects, the target objects, can deduce their location from the infrastructure. Secondly, the infrastructure can identify the location of the objects. And lastly, the hybrid type, the object and infrastructure collaborate to deduce locations. Next, please. To enable the Geo AI-based location-aware businesses, algorithms, location sensing, and also improved communications, including IoT networks. And also we need a certain know-how and skills for implementation and operation. Lastly, we should consider economics. And though these five main areas are the foundation of location tracking, architecture, and also the 2D and 3D cadastre enabling infrastructure. Next, please. Here, Pathos, in partnership with various Korean technology companies, can provide the service ecosystem partnerships toward Uyghur City members. Those partners include sensing and real-time surveillance, incident management, AI and big data analytics. With this, we can create a service ecosystem for public safety, security, and other civil services, which include crime response, fire and rescue response, disaster response, socially marginalized support, and various other civil services. Next, please. My last presentation, as the partnerships are proposed, the process is described in the slide. First, we hear the specific demand from the local authorities. What kind of services the local governments wants to provide for the people, and then those services are conceptualized with target markets. So the team can conceptualize business models for sustainable operation, installation, and operation of the infrastructure, considering market affordability. And the appropriate service and technologies architectures are conceived. And then when for this architecture process, the local sourcing and some technology localization partnerships are also carefully considered. With this, we can articulate specific partnership demand from Korean consortium partners, and we will develop strategies to convince both parties, the Korean companies and also partner cities. And then relevant solutions are pooled. Among these potential partners, we have chosen two criteria for selecting partner companies. The first one is they should have qualified and affordable solutions for target market. In most cases, in developing countries, the market purchasing power is very low. So with this infrastructure development, we are not sure that the services continuously can be deployed to solve the problem. So we choose a qualified and affordable solution is the first selection criteria. And the second one is willingness and commitment for a local service ecosystem. After installing infrastructure and devices, if the company left, then nothing happens. So the companies may commit to build a local service ecosystem to sustainably provide services for the population until the problem can be solved. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for the very, very clear overview and for presenting a full framework of possible partnership between companies and partner cities, especially what you mentioned about creating a sustainable local service ecosystem. I think that this is what the ultimate goal should be for smart city development, especially in partner cities. So thank you once again. And just a quick follow-up question to you and Mr. Kim. You mentioned that both companies, Data Alliance and Fatos Corporation, are very active in the ASEAN region, especially in countries such as Thailand and Indonesia. We were wondering if there are any other target regions for Data Alliance and for Fatos Corporation, or you're focusing mainly on the ASEAN region. Thank you.
At the moment, my focus is ASEAN countries.
아시아에만 집중하는 것은 아니고 대신 현재에서는 아시안이지만 저희는 뭐 남미나 아니면 또 전 유럽은 전 세계로 나갈 준비는 되어 있습니다.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. So, except for ASEAN, you're also ready to cooperate with other regions, especially South America and other regions. We at WeGo, we also have regional initiatives for Latin America, and we recently started our smart city network in Latin America. So we will be excited to see what the future will also show in this regard for collaboration. And Mr. Lee?
It's okay. Mr. Kim already answered.
Okay, great. So thank you. Thank you once again for the presentation. And we hope that you can stay for the discussion part as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And finally, we have a presenter who's joining us from Italy right now, Mr. Fabio Del Monte. He's the Managing Director of SEEDS, Sea Defense Solutions in the UK. Good morning, Mr. Del Monte, once again in Italy.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm just like
yes,
trying to switch off on my video.
Okay, then I'll give the brief introduction about you. So I just wanted to mention that SEEDS is the most recent corporate member of WeGo and also a participant in the Impact Collective program in 2020, which was headed by WFUNA and under the Citypreneurs platform. So Mr. Del Monte, maybe you can share with us very briefly, how was that experience for you last year in the Impact Collective program? And what do you expect from the membership in WeGo as an international smart city organization?
Yeah, well, it has been a great opportunity, actually. It gives us to our solution trust from cities and local administrations, and this is absolutely gold for new projects and startups, because of course are not known, and so having somebody or a well-known organization to support this kind of project is a huge huge help. From the other side, there is the connection with the cities, the smart cities. This is fundamental. Of course, if a solution doesn't have the chance to be applied, of course, it's useless. And reaching the cities in order to explain what we do and why our solution is valid is sometimes difficult. So and help WeGo can give is absolutely a huge help for the development of a project like this.
Thank you. We know that Seeds also has a great ambition for a more clean and a more sustainable future, especially when it comes to our clean rivers and oceans. So we look forward to hearing your presentation right now. When you're ready, you can proceed with the presentation.
Yep, thank you very much. So greetings, everyone. My name is Fabio Del Monte. I'm the CEO of Seeds. Seeds is a startup that aims to stop the plastic in rivers to protect our oceans. And next slide, please. Well, we all know that a huge amount of plastic is entering our ocean, and the 80% of this amount actually comes from rivers. Next. That's why we developed a solution to stop the plastic in rivers, because this is a great opportunity to have a huge impact. Could you start the video, please? The blue barriers, which is the product that we developed, are up to 100% effective in collecting the plastic waste in rivers, and has no impact on river wildlife or boat navigation. The distance between the two sections of barrier you are seeing now is actually just for presentation. The distance is actually up to 400 meters. And we don't just stop the plastic in rivers, but by valorizing the material collected, we aim to cover the cost of the installation in order to make the whole system self-financing. The blue barrier is actually deep into the water up to 1 meter, 80 centimeters to 1 meter, in order to collect also the plastic that is transported below the water level, which is actually the majority. Next, please. Our solution is very flexible and can be installed in any river and in different layouts, from one section to many sections, in order to cover very wide rivers. Next, please. We developed a new barrier in order to improve the current solution that are available on the market, that in many cases are not solution specific for the collection of plastic in rivers. Our blue barriers are, and the aim is to maximize the quantity of the waste collected, and at a very affordable cost, in order to be able to install them anywhere, even in a situation where the resources are very limited. Next, please. We recently installed our barriers in the very center of Rome, and they perform greatly. We've been very happy with the results. In just 3 days, we collected more than 1 meter cube of waste. The majority of it was plastic, and 19 kilograms of meso and microplastic. And this wouldn't be possible with the superficial barrier, because our barrier are collecting the plastic even below the water level, we are able to collect also microplastic. The waste in river is not transported homogeneously, and this is an advantage for us. In fact, water follows the waste follows the so-called hot lines of water current. For instance, where there is a turn in the waste, a turn in the river, the waste accumulate in the outer side of the curve. This allows us to install only few sections or one section of barrier and collect all the waste without covering the whole width of the river, and allowing a lot of space for boats navigation without any issue. In Rome, in fact, we installed only 15 meters of barrier, where the river was more than 50 meters wide. And in this way, we still stopped the 80% of the material transported by the river. And this was possible by choosing a strategic location to intercept the hotline. Next, please. We do not just collect plastic, but we give solution to local administration to maximize the valorization and the recycling of the material we collect. The hard plastic can be selected and sold to the local market. The low quality plastic, which is films, plastic bags, etc., are more difficult, is more a challenge, but can be transformed into construction materials and biopyrolysis in new plastic or energy eventually. Additionally, we are going to collect a lot of waste of organic waste, which is going to be vegetation and wood. The vegetation can be composted, and the wood can be transformed into wood chip and sold as is, or valorized, creating clean energy from biomass. Next, please. Additionally, we are kickstarting a partnership with the SAP, and that will allow us to take advantage of their worldwide marketplace, where they already sold recycled plastic. And this will facilitate a lot the sale of the recycled plastic from the river. Also, thanks to SAP system, we will be able to certify the recycled plastic as ocean plastic or ocean-bound plastic in order to sell them at a premium price. Next slide, please. We are now close to install our barriers in 3 more locations, one in France, in Montpellier, and the other two in Italy, one in Naples, in a very polluted river, actually badly known as the most polluted river in Europe, unfortunately, and another one in Rome. Additionally to these, we have 5 active discussions in Italy and 7 more worldwide. Next, please. We are here because we are looking for a partner city to install our blue barrier to clean the city river and protect the ocean. But even more important, to test an innovative approach to valorize and recycle the waste collected. This system, once tested, will be then extended to the city waste, improving in general the city waste management. And currently, there is no project yet that has been able to collect plastic in rivers and efficiently close the cycle of the material collected. We are looking for a city that is willing to test our innovative solution with us and demonstrate that overcoming these obstacles of recycle is actually possible. Last slide, please. This is our team. Myself, I'm an engineer and expert in waste management. My associate Mauro, which is an expert in marketing communication. Paolo, expert with strong experience in finance and startup development. Kevin, with a huge experience in business development. Kathy, our digital marketing head. And Fidan, our fundraising expert. And with this team, we aim to stop the plastic in rivers and finally stop ocean plastic pollution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Del Monte, for giving us an overview of the solutions of Seeds, and also for pinpointing specific target regions and cities that you would be interested in connecting to. Of course, WIGO will be happy to follow up on these connections after this webinar and try to pitch your solutions directly to those cities, and of course, work together for establishing some kind of collaboration. So hopefully we will continue this dialogue after the webinar. And for all of our viewers, feel free to post any questions that you might have to Seeds, Mr. Del Monte, and to our other speakers as well. We already have a few questions submitted. I think I just saw Mr. Dugan raising his hand. I don't know if you have a question, Mr. Dugan.
Sorry, it was a wrong thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. Del Monte, thank you once again. And now without further ado, you can stay online with us because I'm going to invite all of our speakers to join us and start the discussion part of today's webinar. So welcome everybody once again. And here in the discussion, we will have Ms. Aribe Charlotte from WFUNA and myself as the moderators. So first of all, thank you once again for the presentations in today's webinar. They were very insightful, and we actually received a few questions in the chat box. The first one was submitted by Dr. Moki, and he or she is very curious about traffic congestions and poor housing as key challenges that need to be addressed in smart cities. So I think that I might address this question, especially to our city representatives first, and maybe hear the situation in those cities related to traffic congestion, poor housing, and whether you would have any strategies or frameworks to address these challenges. I don't know if Ms. Donna is here with us, if you would like to maybe comment on this question.
Yes, Todor. In fact, that question is very true. Especially for Baguio City, the biggest challenge, in fact, is on our transportation problems, because we are a small city on top of a mountain, meaning we don't have the benefit of having flat topography and wide spaces. So we are limited by the physical characteristics of the city. And of course, also its general environment, because since we are located on top of mountains, we generally have a climate that's distinct from the rest of the Philippines. We are actually called an airshed. So for the challenges that we are facing with traffic and congestion, it has a corollary effect on our on environmental degradation. So we have heat islands in the city, as well as, of course, an increase in carbon dioxide emissions. So we are looking at technology again to help us solve these problems. And in fact, I mentioned during our discussion that we have a current partner on smart mobility, because of course we have to replan the way that our transportation system in the city is currently faring. And I think it is the best time really during this pandemic, because of course with the lockdowns and the decision of transportation and mobility, especially for public transportation, we saw the effects. And we are looking at the possibility of using smart mobility as the way forward. And of course, since we are always talking of sustainability, and that is really the best way forward for the city of Baguio. And as to housing, we are still developing new solutions. So we are getting creative already on how we can solve the housing problem in the city. Because as I mentioned, we have steep topography. We don't have the benefit of flat grounds. And we are also a site for a lot of natural hazards. So again, we need to develop new ways of providing housing for our citizens, because of course our population is also increasing. It is imperative that we find new solutions on how we create new settlements already. And again, we are looking at self-sustaining communities, where we look at the possibility of using renewable energies, food that is already grown within communities. So those are the vision already of how settlements would be developing in the city.
Thank you so much, Ms. Donna, for this explanation. And maybe here we can jump to Mr. Dogan from Gaziantep as well. If you would like to comment on this question and share with us if traffic congestion and poor housing are some of the issues that Gaziantep City is facing, and whether you have any strategies for addressing those challenges.
actually, it has been a good coincidence right now. As I mentioned in my presentation, after we have 500,000 immigrants flow to our city, house prices, shop rents increased more than expected, actually. So this has caused serious problems in here. Our municipal has just started a new program. It includes 14,000 new houses. So going to be constructed in just below than 3 years. So it's also arranged as a small, how may I say, like a mortgage system. So it's aimed through lower class and also middle class, so that they can pay like a small amount share of money, so they can get new houses. So in the long term, our municipal aims to build 50,000 new houses in the shape of buildings, apartment buildings. So that's just also new project. So it has been a good coincidence to you ask this question. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm also going to give the floor to our companies if they would like to also share some insights on the traffic congestion issues, especially maybe Mr. Dong-ho Kim or Mr. Lee from Data Alliance, because I know that you're also dealing with similar solutions in terms of mobility.
Let me start. The Data Alliance, as I explained, used the blockchain-based platform with which we can share our network data and services. And then the transportation fees can be decreased so that the citizens can be induced to using a more public transportation. And then it has a replacing effect from passenger cars to public transportation. So on top of that, the mass mobility as a service system incorporates various last mile mobilities so that the people can shorten their travel time from origin to destination. So in this way, and the city of Bucheon has also a serious problem of traffic congestion and the crowded parking lot, and also because of that air pollution and others. So the city of Bucheon wants to utilize this system to address traffic congestion and other related issues. And I believe the FATOS, the online tracking platform, the real-time tracking, can help to manage a traffic system in the city. With this online tracking system, with the help of various analytics, also can decrease traffic congestion, I believe. And Mr. Kim, can you explain more on this?
제가 박사님께서 설명을 잘 해주셔서 가지고 추가로 제가 설명드릴 건 없을 것 같습니다.
Thank you, Mr. Kim and Mr. Lee, for providing this information. I can see that in the group chat also, Charlotte, you have shared some very interesting reads related to sustainability and solutions in the smart mobility sector. So all of our attendees, you can feel free to check them out as well. Angelina, I'm not sure if smart mobility or traffic is anything related to SR Post, if there's anything to comment on.
Thank you very much. I believe that previous presenters, they have covered the topic very well. So I don't have any valuable comment to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And I see we also had another question from Mr. Prilepin from the Union of Russian Cities that was already addressed in the group chat, but maybe we can also raise this for Mr. Dugan once again to explain. The question was whether Mr. Dugan meant that the metropolitan platform is also ready to be exported to other cities or only within Turkey, and what are the terms of this situation? Mr. Dugan, if you can also share with us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. We have a local team in here. This team has been established in almost a year. 20 to 25 young programmers we have in this team. So this team has been programming new services to our municipal. So they are doing good right now. So this is one of our newbie and favorite project, 3D simulator of the city. So we want to create digital twin of the city and implement scenarios. Besides that, well-known international platforms presented by well-known big companies, So this is our project. This is our main. Actually, as I said, it's very challenging and it's also educating. Our programmers are learning by this way. So if we can do it, actually, if within a year, we will be very open to share with it our colleagues. Actually, so it's not going to be included only within Turkey. It will be international project.
That's very good to hear, and we'll be looking forward to more updates on how it is developing ahead so that we can share with other interested partners as well. I think before we move on, we had a few questions prepared on the topic of sustainability as one of the key points on how to build a sustainable future for smart city development. And before that, I wanted to ask our speakers whether they would have any other comments or questions to any of the other speakers related to the presentations before. You can raise your questions now. I know that especially between the presentation of Gaziantep City and maybe Data Alliance and FATUS, there were a few overlapping sections in terms of digital twinning. So if you have any comments or questions, please, you can ask them now.
Okay, let me start. As I have worked with the developing countries, the authorities who want to implement the innovative solutions, but they have a knowledge about their solutions, but they do not have experiences. So they have some the visions, but they don't have a specific tests to implement those solutions. So that is one of the key challenges when we work with those. So those people want to be helped with the specific implementation schemes. This solution is not working, and what are alternative solutions? And they have now moving toward very advanced database system. So there is a list of database solutions. Then what should they choose? What is a trend of technology development? If they choose one of technologies, they can be locked in. And so that is their concerns. So the difference is that a few Korean companies have already experiences to deploy certain solutions in specific context. In that way, not only the solutions, but they have know-how how to convince stakeholders who have different opinions and interests. In this way, how to make a consensus to deploy solutions and to benefit the related stakeholders. So those are the key issues regarding the solution deployment for the smart city in the region.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
If I can add something, another obstacle that we have been experiencing, especially like in our, let's say, sector, and this doesn't regard only developing countries, actually. Like we are facing the same issue in Italy as well, for example, and is bureaucracy, and sometimes like the complication of like the local systems that are not able or used to implement a certain innovative solution or managing a new problem. So, for example, in our case, like plastic in rivers is not a new problem, but is newly, let's say, discovered. So even in Italy, that is like actually like in some like most places has a waste management system developed. They are not like organized to collect the waste from the rivers. So we are facing a problem not to install the barrier, but to then manage the waste that is coming that we are collecting. So is like very much needed, like for the local administration to be open to get used to reorganized and being able to allow us to manage the waste, like first of all install the barriers and collect the waste, and on the other side helping them in managing the waste.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Del Monte. Very good comments and insights. I think Charlotte wanted to comment on this one.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to build upon Fabio's comments. A couple of the key insights that we gained through our program work since 2017 really does highlight this need for department collaboration in city governments, communication of what's going on so that we can implement startup solutions. One other thing that was also mentioned was, startups usually are quite lean. And so the administrative or bureaucratic process of implementing solutions can be quite taxing and sometimes complicates the implementation itself. And so I do think that there's a lot of opportunity here to pioneer a new way of procurement, to source new startup solutions and implement these solutions to help accelerate adoption in city contexts. But in order to do this, I do think that we need to encourage cross-sectoral discussions such as the one that we're having right here to specifically highlight challenges that entrepreneurs such as and innovators such as Fabio and city governments such as the ones represented here are facing and what we can do to meet halfway. So that's my comment.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Charlotte. Maybe we can get back to Mr. Del Monte now because we just received another question from Mr. Prilepin in the Q&A session, which is, have you tried to establish a partnership with companies that use modern solutions to utilize plastics?
Well, yeah, definitely. Like the way we are addressing the waste, or actually orienting the local administration to address the waste, is via partnership with companies that are developing a new solution for recycling the plastic. And we don't develop the technology for recycling the plastic. So that's why we are looking for establishing a portfolio of partnership and technologies for dealing with the plastic, specifically plastic with low quality, let's say, so which is actually the strongest challenge. So yeah, definitely, this is the way we are going toward to.
Okay, thank you so much. Charlotte, I can see your hand raised. I don't know if you had an additional comment.
Sorry, I forgot to lower it, but thank you.
Okay. No problem, thank you. Okay, then maybe to move on, because we went a little bit over time, but I think, Charlotte, you had a couple of questions related to sustainability agenda, as this is one of the focuses of today's webinar. So maybe we can ask a question or two in the next couple of minutes.
Yes, I'll be quite quick. On our end, since we are working towards the adoption of the SDGs by all stakeholders, I wanted to address this question to our city representatives on how is the sustainability agenda reflected in your city's vision and priorities, and if for the companies that have been presenting, how is this reflected also in your vision and priorities for your company?
Okay, thank you for the question. Then if we go one by one, maybe we can give the floor to Ms. Donna about the sustainability agenda and how it is reflected into the smart city framework of Baguio City.
Yes, thank you for that question. I can speak of the experience of Baguio City because, of course, what we are doing right now, since we are looking forward to that better normal. And we are currently preparing our recovery and resiliency plan. It has to be that sustainability would be the prime component of these plans already, because we have seen the errors of the past and how we can be brought down to our knees with shocks of this type. In fact, this pandemic has highlighted a lot of the issues that we had been experiencing, although we were too busy with developmental objectives. So we are making sure that this time around, as we emerge from this pandemic, as we look forward to emerging from this pandemic, it will be a Baguio City of a different kind already. That we are looking towards a resiliency in terms of human and environmental resources. And of course, a recovery, a good recovery to this experience already. So it's front and center whenever we talk of sustainability, especially for urban areas like ours. It has to be that future developments are sustainable. And we have to make sure that all investments as well as projects and plans are towards this end already. It cannot be anything else.
Thank you so much. And jumping to Mr. Dogan from Gaziantep City about the sustainability agenda of your city.
I hope I get the question clearly. We are also committed to criteria of sustainability declared by the international organizations. And for example, on the transportation side, our municipal has changed all the oil consuming vehicles to electrical vehicles. We have currently running tram system, but our light rail and metro projects are also under construction right now. So this is how we are going to introduce mass transportation using electricity. So moreover, we are working on to produce our electricity. So right now we have natural gas and also biofuel and recycled centers. Our recycled center also very famous with its technology. It's the Pioneer project in Gaziantep in Turkey. Also another cities visit us to see how we are doing it. We are also right now planning new electrical sun plants to produce electricity from the directly sun. It's around I think 18 megawatts. So this is we are going to stop. How may I say? We are now a coal plant producing electricity and transmitting to us. So it will be over. So we will produce our energy directly through the renewable energy sources. So we are working on to achieve zero carbon emission goal in here too, and we are also working on to use the latest technologies to reach these goals.
Thank you so much. I see Charlotte smiling when hearing those ambitious aims for future.
Makes me happy.
Great, yes. And maybe we can jump to Mr. Del Monte right now as a startup which is specifically dedicated to addressing some sustainability challenges and oriented for the future. So how is this alignment working in the case of Seeds?
Well, of course, like we are focusing in more some of them, but we are trying to actually pushing the local administration and not just actually also the big companies to embrace these challenges, just because it's actually unavoidable. This by the definition of sustainability by itself is now it cannot be avoided, and now organization and the local administration with a little bit of delay are realizing it, and having objectives specific objectives is helping a lot in order to organize and making action more concrete toward the sustainability actually.
Thank you for your answer. And now we can jump to our corporate representatives. Maybe Angelina, you can comment, especially for SMEs and bigger companies, the sustainability and delivering sustainable solutions is also a big priority. So maybe you can share briefly about ESSER Post and its alignment with some sustainable aims and goals.
Yes, thank you very much. For us, of course, it's very important as well. We are experts, first of all, in the civic solutions management. So within our policy, we always consider how we can provide services for better communication between the citizens and the city government. And by this, you can improve not just significant improvements in the city, such as, for example, the rejuvenation of several areas and propelling the local economy in different regions, but also better citizen engagement, which we consider our primary goal in all of our projects, both in Korea and overseas. And within our smart projects, such as, for example, that was planned together with Baguio City, due to our experience with municipalities, we always focus on how we can improve different urban issues that specifically this local government may have.
Thank you. Thank you for the comment. And finally, to Mr. Lee and Mr. Kim, if you'd like to comment on the sustainability agenda for your companies.
Actually, I may introduce the new initiative of Pathos. This private company is a certain capability to convert the crisis or challenge it to market opportunity. So during the pandemic, the city is overcrowded with the delivery motorbike, which are consuming fossil fuels a lot. And Pathos is now replacing this bike with e-bike. And then, as I explained, the Pathos real-time tracking system not only navigating the bike, but also it can check the battery status. And then with this system, also the bike monitoring system can be aligned with a certain banking system, so that people can buy motorbike in guarantee of the bike staying in the city. So in this way, Pathos is trying to create certain the e-bike ecosystem with a new battery monitoring and also the service delivery service management. Similarly, the Pathos platform can be used to decrease energy consumption to monitor and track the big truck navigation services. And Data Alliance also finding out new opportunities in this challenge that nowadays the factories or large global companies has initiated the RE100, and then we should know which company is using renewable energy, who produce. So for that purpose, we need a specific tracking the renewable energy transaction system. So blockchain technology is critical to trace who has produced the electricity with the solar power or whatever, and then which company, Samsung or Hyundai, used how much. So for that purpose, the Data Alliance is now developing the blockchain-based renewable energy transaction system. And as you understand, the Korean government is also pursuing the carbon neutrality very much, and and also specific targets to decrease the carbon emission. When I came to Bangkok, I noticed the Thai government is promoting circular economy very much. I believe SIA's solution for collecting plastic in the Chao Phraya River can be also very helpful. So I'm also engaged in a few circular economy projects to advise them. So I may recommend the Fabio solution for their considerations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the support and the useful comments. Finally, Mr. Kim, if there's anything else you would like to add.
네, 뭐 특별히 추가로 말씀드릴 건 없을 것 같습니다. 네, 감사합니다.
Thank you, Mr. Kim. Thank you, Mr. Kim. Okay, thank you for the great comments. And Charlotte, I don't know if you have any closing comments on that.
I would say that it's been great hearing everybody give in their insights and also seeing opportunities such as the one that our potential seeds startup is getting with Data Alliance to connect with potential other projects is great. Happy to stay connected with you as well. My last thought would be also a question for all of you. So we're all here discussing, and we have been, exchanging insights. But what would you like to see from organizations such as WeGo and Wafuna in terms of support? What is your ask? What else can we maybe help connect you to or provide opportunities with that can accelerate your work in the area of smart, sustainable cities? That would be my last thought with you. Feel free to share on the topic or just reach out to us after the presentation.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. If we can have a quick, maybe 1 or 2 comments from the speakers.
Okay, let me start.
Mr. Dogan, yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. First of all, I still can't use Google WeGo Activator. I don't know, it's not accepting me for a long time. And I believe it is a very amazing and platform. Is this what we are looking for? Actually, we can't tell our problem there, but we can tell what we are looking for. And also there is implementation. This is actually what we need. But if I can use it, and also you are more experienced than us, especially in international funds, grants, also partnerships. Also, thanks to you, I recognize these international companies, Data Alliance, Fatos. When I checked their presentations, I saw them, they are more professional than actually we are looking for. They are doing really good stuff, but thanks to you, I get to know them. So what you are doing is really cool, so really helpful. So my only problem is actually right now Activator program. I can't log into that.
Thank you. That's a very good. Thank you for sharing this. We'll be looking into that, and we will contact you directly after the webinar to make sure that you can access the platform and go on from there. And with this, I believe that we can close the discussion for today. Thank you once again for all of your comments. And just before we finish, I would like to invite you to take a virtual group photo of everybody participating. So make sure you look good, and then I'm going to count to 3, and our technical team will help us take a group photo. Thank you so much. Okay, if everybody's ready, I will count right now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that should be okay. Okay, thank you so much once again. And Leo, just to finish off with the presentation, let's share the slides again. Thank you. We hope that today's webinar has been useful for cities, solution providers, and smart city stakeholders to understand each other's needs better and to foster stronger partnerships for future projects. Do not hesitate to contact us further after the end of this webinar to get in touch with partners and to continue close collaboration. A post-event survey will be shared with all registered participants to seek your feedback on the event. Selected winners will be randomly chosen and you will receive prizes in the form of online gift cards. Do not miss your chance and participate in the survey. Now you can vote for, and finally, I would like to remind you that in less than a month, WeGo and the President City of Seoul are hosting the 5th WeGo General Assembly. The event will be held on October 18th and will gather all WeGo members and a variety of partners and friends to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the organization and pave the way to the future of our Smart City agenda. Join us in our celebration and register for the online event through the WeGo official website. I would like to thank all of you today for joining us, especially our co-hosting organization, WFUNA. Thank you, Charlotte, and all of our speakers today, all of our attendees for joining us for the webinar. It was a pleasure to have you all, and we look forward to working together with you on our various programs in the future. Thank you once again, and have a pleasant rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.
네, 감사합니다.
Bye.